Welcome back, fellow shop rats. We're here in the shop today and we got issues. Absolutely the most inconvenient, worst time to have issues, but blew another brake line on Wanda yesterday, today actually. And I got to get it in here, which means all of the vehicle shuffle that we did in one of our recent episodes needs to be undone, and the Forsyth or the stitches needs to go back. And I ended up, Mark was supposed to be here today and I had to work today. That wasn't part of the plan. And we just got stuff. So while I'm at it, I'm going to get the bay lift hoist out from in front of the Forsyth because I needed to get that out of there so I can work on that car anyway. Plus, I'm going to need it for the truck. I'm not going to need it, but I'm going to use it for the truck. It's just a little easier way to get that truck nice and up in the air. Well, we just got a lot of stuff. So we're going to get that stuff done here, and I'll be right back. I'm Mike, and you're watching.
This is My Cars Shop.
Okay, we got that out. I got to remember to have Chris bring his plasma cutter so we can deepen the channels in the lift fingers on this hoist. But so yeah, I got to get stitches back up in its hole where it belongs and shoved way over in the front, and get the Oakland back in the trailer. The 47 is going to have to sit out for a few days, and then we'll get the truck in here. My wee little brain got to wondering as I got moving things around here. I have two options. I almost could tuck the Oakland right up in here. I'm not sure I want to do that, but it's definitely a possibility. We would double pin the Challenger so it doesn't spin over. I only ever keep one pin in it, but I could put the pin in on the other end just to be sure it doesn't spin over. And I also could move the back end of it over a little more. I want to measure the length here. This car is pretty big, so that may not work. My second thought, and this is the one I like better, is take the Oakland and move this. Some of this is just trash, but move it over in here as tight as I can this way. That should open up enough room in the middle for me to back Wanda in here. Still have room to work behind it with the hoist, get it lifted up, and that may be a good way to go. So I'm going to do a little measuring here and we'll come to a conclusion real quickly. So the truck is 6.5 feet wide. So I'm just going to check this real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the furthest we could come back is about right here. This is the side we need to be working on. And it's 18 feet long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 with 6 inches to spare. I have to move the stove and the sandblaster, which I've been thinking about doing anyway. So we can temporarily move it over here up in front of the Challenger for this job. And then we will take some time to reevaluate where we ultimately want the toolbox. I think I know where I want to put it. It's going to mean some major rearranging. And I still need to figure out where I want to put the stove. I got to ponder that one a while. I've got all the stuff for powder coating. That's what the stove is here for, is to bake powder coating. I've got all the electrical to do it. I just never got it done. It's one of those jobs. I almost wonder if it should go where the toolbox is and put the toolbox in the other location. But again, that's wide, and that's the problem, is I'm trying to get away from having anything wide over there. Anyway, that's not what this episode is about, but I'm going to move this temporarily, and then we'll go from there. It would be easy peasy, cheesy squeezy if it wasn't for that pole right there. But got to have it. It supports the end of this beam here. So anyway, I think it'll fit. I'll snuggle it in tight, back it in this way as far as I can. That's the side I'm going to need to work on. So that's my concern. But I need to be under the truck. I don't need to be on side of it. So I think to get it jacked up over there, I think we'll be okay. Just going to have to come in really carefully, and we'll see if it works or not. I really don't want to put the 47 outside if I don't have to, because, yeah, I just don't want to. I will if we need to, but let's see if we can make this work. And there we go. She fits with room to spare. I'll explain why in a minute. It could have been over this way a little bit more, but this is the side I need to work on. So I like that. I got it up on the hoist. I'm still going to do some jack stands and stuff, but right now it's just on the hoist. I had the back end up about 3 feet, and I realized I don't have jack stands tall enough for that for safety, so I don't trust just the little pawl on the hoist. I could put a jack stand under the hoist, I suppose. I don't know. I got to think more about that. Anyway, I don't mind this bay lift for lifting things, but I certainly don't trust it to get under the vehicle. So let's get around to the other side. And I am an idiot. It's this side the brake line's on, not this side. So I could move the thing over that way a little bit, but I got plenty of room to work in here. No problem at all. The brake line is blown about right in here, right at the end of the gas tank. I'm going to put the whole line in, and I've got plenty of room on this side to do that. So I'm going to put it from the hose all the way up to the proportioning valve and just replace all of it and be done with it. We got a whole roll, 25 feet of hose here, or of line, so hose. Anyway, so the next step now is I want this to just thaw out, and so it's not dripping on me all day tomorrow, because tomorrow's when I'm actually going to work on it. So it should thaw out. I should have shoveled the snow out. There's not much in there, but yeah, there'll be a good puddle on the floor, but we'll get that dried up quick tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So if nothing else, I can lay these carpets down and not be laying in the water while I'm under it. Welcome back to day 2 of a truck called Wanda, where we are replacing the brake line. I'm not going to share all that with you. I've done enough brake flares and all that stuff, but I am going to fill you in on what's going on. So I've got myself a piece of brake line here that goes all the way from the proportioning valve back to where the rear hose is. The line was rusted right at the hose, but the hose was also rotted off. So I couldn't tell for sure which place the problem was, but the hose is getting replaced. I'm replacing the line. Just going to be done with it. That puts about 90% new lines on this truck. Something that was on my list to do when I replaced the box on this. I thought, well, it'll be easy enough to change that line once the box is off. So it was a gamble that didn't pay off. Caused me a little bit of heartache in the short term, but in the long run, it's a job that'll be done. So I've got to flare the line, put the big nut on, get that into the proportioning valve, route it down the frame. The hose won't be in until 4:30 this afternoon, so I'll have to run and grab that, which means probably tomorrow I'll be back out here again. So this episode's going to stretch over a few days. We'll see what else we can get done. I thought about trying to get the heater core cleaned out. We'll see. I'm going to get this line in position and in place so that all I have to do, get the rubber hose off, so that all I have to do when I get the new hose is, I'll even get this line flared on the other end, but all I have to do is get it put in, tighten it down, bleed the brakes, and we'll be done. So quite a bit of work to do to get there, but that's the way it goes. So I was really thrilled. Well, I was telling Becky last night that I was actually able to jockey things around and get everything in here. So I didn't expect I was going to be able to. That's encouraging. I know it's going to depend on projects and where things are set, whether I can do this in the future or not. But at least I know for now, till I get the Oakland tied up and up on jack stands for a while, I can get the truck in the shop if I need to. Also, my buddy Dave, I was talking to him, and he said, hey, if you need to bring the truck over to my place to work on it, he's got a great big heated shop too. I said, well, I'm going to get the brakes fixed on my truck, and then I can drive it over to your place to fix the brakes. Lord have mercy, that's been an ordeal. But I got the line put into the proportioning valve. I've got it running down the frame. I've got it flared where it's going to go into the line once I get the new rubber hose. I left myself enough extra so I can create the bends it needs to have for the vibration flexing. I also discovered that the bracket for the proportioning valve was not mounted to the frame. It must have, I don't know, anyway, it wasn't. So the studs were busted off. So I don't know if the nuts rusted off or what happened, but it's the simplest fix on that one was I put it back in place, ground everything down real good, and just spot welded the brackets to the frame so that that's not down there shaking. You can still take the nuts off of the proportioning valve and take the proportioning valve off the bracket. So good enough. A little bit of agricultural engineering there, I suppose, but I was really concerned about trying to take the proportioning valve off of the proportioning valve bracket, put new studs on it. I don't know, and it's possible that it was broken before. I don't know. All I know is the studs were broke off, and I don't think they broke off when I worked on it last time. So anyway, that's all done. The line's tight, so everything is good now up here, all the way back to where the hose goes into the to the axle and where I put the line into the hose. So when we get the hose, there's only one other thing I need to deal with back here. The old hose, the metal part, is rusted into the bracket. I've got to figure out how to get that out of there. It is a pain in the neck because it's up above the gas tank and really hard to get to. So I'm trying to decide if I want to have that done so when I get the hose, everything is just simple, or if I'm just have had enough for a while and need to take a break. I'm not sure. So I'll be back. There's two schools of thought that I'm struggling with here, and I've come to a conclusion, and I'm only sharing because a lot of you like to hear my thought processes. I could force myself to get down there and just get it done. Yes. If it was a work situation, that's what I do. We just get it done. I think in the interest of my mental health, it's probably best right now to just come back in a little while, take a break, come back, get that out of there, and then be ready to go and get the hose, and we'll pick up tomorrow. I don't want to leave that till tomorrow. Definitely don't want to do that. I want to really have that in a position so that I can just pop the hose in and go. The hose is still attached to the axle, but it's brand new lines into the Y block, so I know that'll be easy. That won't be a problem at all. But I know I need to get that old rusty end of that metal on that rubber hose out of that bracket. So I think I'm going to take a break, go get a little something to eat, chill for a while, come back out in a while, and if we have to take the bracket off the frame or see what we have to do to get that next thing done. But for my own sake right now, after all the fight that I had doing what I did, snaking that line down there and flaring under there and getting that proportioning valve bracket fixed and figured out, and just all that stuff, I think probably this is going to be a pause here for a moment, and well, for you it'll be right back, but for me it'll be probably a couple hours. Told you it'd be just like that for you, and I'd be back. It's been a few hours for me. I'm glad that I took that break because it cleared my head a little bit and just got me thinking differently. So I'm going to see if I can just take that bracket off the frame real quick. I think it just goes on with a bolt from the outside. I tried before to get the metal part of that hose out of that bracket, and it's rusted in there. I took the clip off, of course, and I got thinking about it. If it's that rusty, trying to get a new one in there is going to be a pain in the neck. So we'll see if we can get that bracket off the frame and then knock that out of there. I'm going to do that real quick here, and then we'll go from there. So, see, clear heads and a full belly makes a difference. So we plan, and then God just laughs. So that deal was a stud with a nut on each side. I thought it was welded or a bolt through the bracket, but it's not. And even with the impact gun, it's just spinning and spinning and spinning. The bracket wasn't spinning. So I went under there and practiced some, what's the word I'm looking for? Creative language, and got it out of there. And hopefully, yeah, the new one should go in there all right. So, all right, it'll probably be tomorrow when you see me next, because I'm waiting for Becky to get home so I can take her car, because it's the only other car we have that runs, and we'll get the part, and hopefully it's the right one, and then tomorrow we'll get after this. And of course, now it's been warm enough in here that even though a lot of this truck had thawed out overnight, there's still a lot of snow in the box, and now it's all over the floor, and so it'll be really nice. But maybe by tomorrow things will be dried up a bit, so it all works out. Holy wah, day 3. Got the hose last night, so that's good to go. I have the line strung all the way back to where the hose goes in. Ah, crap, it didn't come with a clip. I got to check my clip that I took off and see if it's still good. If not, I found one in the house the other day when I was going through a big tub of screws, so we can grab that. But I think the plan today is we are going to, we're done up here. We're done all the way back to here. We got a little massaging to do, but we'll get this line hooked in underneath into the bracket connected, the line tightened into it. Then we'll pull the wheel off and work on getting the two lines where it comes into the Y block and all that stuff done. Then all we have to do is bleed the brakes. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I'm tired of working on this truck. 3 days in a row is just, and I still don't know if I'm not going to run into some kind of a snafu. So, shouldn't. But, you know, it's mechanical. Anything that can go wrong can go wrong. The other thing I wanted to note is the carpet that I had down here soaking wet. So I moved that out of the way. But last night, the rest of the truck thawed out and the floor is dry. So winter, winter chicken dinner there also. I just looked and the spring clip is good. So I don't have to go dig out the new one. Make sure it fits this all right. It does not. Is it spread? Nope. Well, no, it works. It works. Okay, we're all right. Helps if you use your brain. So, yeah, I get the joy of going back under here again and getting this in the bracket and getting that tightened down, bent around. Turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. I love doing this because one of the issues that I've struggled with for years and years is vertigo. Whenever I lay down under a vehicle, I get tremendous vertigo and end up getting nauseated. So it's one of the reasons I don't enjoy this a whole lot. And someday hope to have a hoist. It's an inner ear problem. I've had it for years, and you just live with it. But, you know, it is what it is. So, all right, I'll quit whining. We'll get her done. All right, well, that was a female dog, but it's done. So now we'll pull this wheel off so that I can mount the hose to the axle and get the two brake lines from the wheel slave cylinders hooked up and good to go. Because those are brand new. They should be easy to just loosen, put on, and go. Should be. Ha! Yep, very good. I can't remember if those are 3/8 or 7/16 or 3/8. Okay. I got a great memory. It's just super short. Ugh. Come on out of there, you potlicker. All right, I'm going to have to get a pair of vice grips on that, I guess. Just got to hold that fitting because it's a little bit loose in the axle because um, the axle vent doesn't thread in properly. So I had kind of engineered it in a special way so it would stay in, and it worked really good. But it's hard to get the chinga chonga chunga loose. All right, you don't need to sit here and look at the back of my head while I'm doing this. I'll be back. Alrighty, so we're bleeding the brakes out now. I don't even have the pressure bleeder on it yet. Everything went good. The rear axle vent, I don't know if I was telling you that or not, the goes into the axle is stripped out, so I just always silicone it in and then wrap zip ties around the axle to hold everything down. It works great. It's been that way for quite a while. Rather than messing around with trying to fix it, that's farm truck. It's fine. Even though it's my daily right now, it's still ultimately a farm truck. So it looks like we're gravity bleeding pretty good here. I got to check the other side, see where we're at. I'm going to get my pressure bleeder on there till we get a good solid steady stream of fluid, and we'll be back and see if we got a brake pedal. And no leaks, I hope. One of the problems with just consolidating the shop and shoving everything out of the way is that I can't find stuff. I'd forgotten that I had hung my power bleeder back on a hook in the back, and of course it's a little bit of a challenge to get back there, but I got my other power bleeder from the house, and she came out and pumped the brakes for me, so we got them bled. I'm going to drive it this way for a while. They may be still a little spongy, but I'm going to drive it for a little bit, see how they feel. I can always pop it back in the shop next weekend and bleed them more if I need to, but they feel pretty good, so I think we're okay. That'll also give me a chance to test things out and make sure there's no more bugs. So we're going to go for a test drive here in just a minute or six. Got to put the wheel back on and wiggle this thing out of here, and then we'll go from there. So winner, winner, chicken dinner. And go for a test drive and see what it's like. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, I hope. We'll see. So it's spongy, as I suspected. The pedal's pretty good. It hits solid. I mean, it doesn't hit solid. It needs to be bled one more time, but I think I'm going to leave it. They work. They're safe. The pedal's good and high. It's just a bit spongy, so there must be a little fart in there somewhere. But I found that with this truck before, that when I've bled the brakes, they've been that way, and if I drove it for a couple of days, it seemed like they started working better. So if not, in a couple of days, I'll pull it in and we'll resolve it. It's running a little weird. I'm guessing there's moisture in the tank. I don't know if I have any dry gas or not. If I do, I'm going to throw some in. Yeah, if I hit that pedal, it goes down about, not quite halfway. It's a little spongy. If I let up and touch it again, it's like a quarter of the way down and really good and solid. So there's a bit of air in there yet, but it's safe. That's all I care about right now. Like I said, if I drive it a little bit, chances are it'll resolve itself. It has before, so I don't know why. I've never had another vehicle like that, but this one always seems to do that, which maybe there's a microscopic pinhole somewhere. I don't know. Doesn't matter. So anyway, that's a job done. I have wheels again. It's not running right. Did I say that? But I'm wondering if there's some water in the gas tank, and it's being in the shop for 3 days where it's warmer than freezing has caused issues. So yeah, I did say that, but we're gonna get some dry gas and see what happens. But it's good. It's safe. So I also need to go put gas in it anyway. So we'll make a road trip here in a bit and get that done. Well, there we go on that. So I got a little cleaning up to do, but that job's done. I'm going to go run and get some gas in it, and yeah, we'll go from there. I got to see if I got some dry gas. I think I do. We'll throw some of that in there. But at least it stops and goes, so that's a good thing. There was more I was hoping to do, but I didn't expect it was going to take me 3 days to get the shop moved around and get it in here and do all the work. I didn't expect it was a bad hose. It looked like a bad line, yada, yada. You've seen the whole episode. I wanted to share this with you because, again, it's part of what happens here at My Car Shop. We're working on all the fun stuff. We've been slamming away on the duster, and all of a sudden life comes to a grinding halt, and we have to do something like this to get one of the daily cars done. My dream would be to have the center of this shop always open with a hoist in here and have the rotisserie over here if it'll fit, and still be able to have 3 cars in here, maybe even 4 or 5 if we could put a couple under a hoist. I don't know. We'll see, but that's all a dream, and it's not a reality right now, so we got to do what we got to do. I appreciate you being here. If you want to see the channel continue to grow, share this on your social media. Get people to like subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comment on the videos. All of that helps put us out in front of more people and continue to help the channel grow. The more the channel grows, the more I'm going to be able to do. So, all right, that'll do it. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for being here. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot again. Wrong.